Good day everyone, I am Lorginus Fertes and today we are going to discuss and tackle about the pre-university travels of Jose Rizal from 1882 to 1887. So this discussion is about Rizal's time as a student in Europe will give us a different perspective on the person behind the hero. At malalaman rin natin ang kanyang mga paghanga at pagkadismaya sa mga bagong lugar na kanyang pinuntahan at pati na rin ang kanyang karanasan na kanyang nararanasan sa kanyang paglalakbay. So this chronological presentation of events during Rizal's travels, like all timelines, is designated to make it easier for us to understand the order in which these events happened. Jose Rizal continued his study in USD until he was unhappy with the Dominican institution. So after Jose Rizal finished his 4-year medical course in USD, he was unhappy with the way things were taught at the Dominican University, or now also known as the University of Santo Tomas. So he felt that the teaching methods were old-fashioned and not up-to-date, and he also noticed that the Dominican professors were treating the Filipino students unfairly because of their race. So these reasons made him dissatisfied with the university and maybe also one of the reasons why he wanted to continue his studies abroad. And aside from studying abroad, Jose Rizal has two reasons. So first is to finish his medical specialization, the second is to do his secret mission. In summary, Rizal's secret mission was to learn about from Europe so that he could fight for the freedom of Filipino people from Spanish tyranny. So the departure of Jose Rizal was kept secret to avoid detection from the Spanish authorities and the friars. So that's why ang ginamit na pangalan is ang Jose Mercado. As sinikreto rin niya ito sa kanyang mga magulang, lalong-lalo na sa kanyang ina dahil alam niyang hindi siya papayagan na umalis ito. So nakakalan lang ang kanyang kapatid na si Pasiano at mga iilang pinagkakatiwalaang kaibigan ng kanyang pamilya. So bago umalis si Jose Rizal, ay siya ay nasulat ng letters o farewell letters to his beloved parents and another one for his sweetheart Leonor Rivera. So it was both delivered shortly after Jose Rizal sailed away. On May 3, 1882, Rizal left the Philippines for the first time for Singapore, sakay ang barkong Salvador. So sa barko na yon is may 16 na pasahero. So Rizal was the only Filipino and the rest were Spaniards, British, and Indian Negros. So para hindi raw maboard sa biyahe si Rizal, ay siya ay nakipaglaro ng chess sa ibang pasahero at natalo niya ito ng maraming beses dahil si Jose Rizal ay isang mahusay na manlalaro ng chess. On May 9, 1882, narating ni Rizal ang Singapore and then nagstay siya sa Hotel de la Paz. So he spent 2 days on sightseeing the city of Singapore. So nakita niya ang famous Botanical Garden, the beautiful Buddhist temple, and the statue of Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, who is the founder of Singapore. On May 11, 1882, so nung si Rizal ay nasa Singapore, so from Salvador ay lumipat siya sa ibang barko na tawag is Gemna. So Gemna, it is a French ship na bumabiyahe from Singapore patungong Europe. On May 17, 1882, so bago narating ni Rizal ang Colombo, he first arrived at Punta de Galles or Point Kill at may sinulat siya sa kanyang diary tungkol sa lugar na iyon. So he said that the general appearance of Point Kill is picturesque, but lonely and quiet, and at the same time, sad. And moving on, May 18, 1882, 7:30 ng umaga, umalis si Rizal ng Punta de Galles patungong Colombo. So on the afternoon, he arrived at Colombo, and then in the evening, his trip was resumed. On May 27, 1882, 8:30 ng umaga narating ni Rizal ang Aden. So Rizal was so happy because yun yung first time na makakita siya ng mga camels. Pero ang init raw sa Aden ay mas matindi pa kaysa sa Manila. June 2, 1882, narating ni Rizal ang Suez Canal. So Suez Canal, it is a architectural wonder. So ito ay man-made canal na gawa ng mga tao para mas mapadali ang pagdaan ng mga barko. And then on June 7, 1882, in this letter to his parent, he described his road to Aden along the Suez Canal. Moving on, June 11, 1882, Rizal arrived at the Italian city, Naples. So siya ay bumaba at sinamahan siya ng isang guide. So they went around the city of Naples for 1 hour. So ang Italy ang pinakaunang bansa sa Europe na napuntahan ni Rizal. So Rizal was so amazed of how beautiful the city of Naples is at ang mga tao roon is super lively. And also Naples has a panoramic beauty as well. June 12, 1882, so at 10 o'clock in the evening, narating ni Rizal ang Marseille. So siya ay nakailip sa kanyang biyahe. So while in Marseille, ay binisita niya famous na Chateau d'If, kung saan si Dantes, the hero of the Count of Monte Cristo, was imprisoned. So the Count of the Monte Cristo was one of the most favorite book of Jose Rizal. So he stayed at Marseille for almost 2.5 days. Noong June 15, 1882, si Rizal ay umalis ng Marseille sa kayang express train patungong Barcelona. Tanghaling tapat na lang narating ni Rizal ang Barcelona. So base sa kanyang diary, napakaraming tao roon. So while in Barcelona, may naisulat si Rizal na isang essay na ang title is Amor Patrio, or which means love of country. At ang inspirasyon niya sa essay na ito ay ang kanyang bansa, ang Pilipinas. Next article na kanyang naisulat is Los Viajes or Travels, and then followed by Revista de Madrid or Review of Madrid. So ang Review of Madrid is hindi siya na-publish dahil sa kakulangan ng funds. Noong August 20, 1882, ang Amor Patrio was published in Diaryong Tagalog. So during Tagalog, it is a Manila newspaper at nag-edit ito is si Basilio Teodoro. So ang Amor Patrio ang pinakaunang article na naisulat ni Rizal abroad. So it is a nationalistic essay. It also Rizal's first article written in Spain's soil under his pen name Laong Laan. So actually, there are two versions of Amor Patrio. So the Spanish text was originally written by Rizal in Barcelona, and the Tagalog text was a Tagalog translation made by Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Then on September 12, 1882, Rizal moved heading to Madrid in order to continue his medical studies kasi nandun raw yung school na gusto niyang pasukan at para ipagpatuloy ang kanyang pag-aaral ng medisina. Noong November 3, 1882, si Rizal ay nag-enroll sa Universidad Central de Madrid. So, dalawang kurso ang kanyang kinuha kung ano yung natapos niya sa UST. So, yun ang Medicina at Philosophy and Letters. So, ano nga ba ang buhay ni Rizal sa Madrid? So, siya ay nag-aral na sculpting at painting sa Academy of Fine Arts of San Fernando, and then he also took lessons in English, French, German under his private instructors, and he also practiced shooting and fencing at the Hall of Arms Sans y Carbonell. So, nung nasa Spain si Rizal, may organisasyon na binubuo ang Filipinos at Spaniards. So, this organization called Círculo Hispano-Filipino, kung saan nung araw rin na yon ay may naisulat si Rizal na poem or tula na ang title is May Peden Versus, or which means They Ask Me for Verses. Diniklaim niya ito at perform in front of his fellow Filipinos during New Year's Eve. On March 1883, may bago na namang sinalihan na organisasyon si Rizal. Pero this time, it is a Masonic organization. So, Acacia is the first Masonic organization na sinalihan ni Rizal. So, his intention is to use it as a shield against the friars in the Philippines. Then, on June 17, 1883, Rizal left Madrid to visit Paris, and then he stayed at Hotel de Paris, but then moved to a cheaper hotel called 124 Rue de Rome. So, he spent his time by visiting those tourist spots. So, he visits the Arc of Triomphe, Place de la Concorde, Madeleine Church, and Bois de Boulogne. So Rizal really observed the French way of life, and he spent his many hours at the museums. Si Rizal ay nag-attend ng isang reunion kung saan nandun rin ang mga kababayang Pilipino. So this happened at paternal residence in Madrid, kung saan si Rizal ay nag-propose na kanyang naisulat na novel tungkol sa Pilipinas. Kasi ang gusto niya na magsulat sa novel na yon is Group of Filipinos. So his proposal was approved by the Filipinos who were present at the party. But yung mga tao na nag-agree na tumulong na magsulat sa novel na yun is wala pang naisusulat. Kasi mostly daw sa kanila wants to write about women. So nakikita lang sila ni Rizal na nakikipagsugal and flirting with Spanish women, but then he decided to drop the novel alone. So that's the idea behind the Noli. And then on June 21, 1884, natapos na ni Rizal ang kanyang pag-aaral ng medisina, kaya't nabigyan siya ng licentiate in medicine. The following years also, he passed all the subject para mabigyan siya ng Doctor of Medicine, pero hindi niya agad ito kinuha dahil wala pa siya pambayad sa panahon na yon. Noong June 25, 1884, si Rizal ang nagbigay ng speech sa dalawang mahusay na Filipino painter na sina Juan Luna at Felix Hidalgo. At lalong-lalo na kay Juan Luna na nanalo ng unang gantimpala sa kanyang spolarium sa National Exposition of Fine Arts na ginanap sa Madrid sa taong ring iyon. Then on November 1884, there were riots occurred in the Universidad Central de Madrid. Noong June 19, 1885, after ni Rizal mabigyan ng licentiate in medicine, ay nabigyan na naman siya ng licentiate in philosophy and letters kung saan siya ay binigyan ng rating na excellent, kung sa Spanish pa sobresaliente. On November 1885, nung natapos na ni Rizal ang kanyang pag-aaral sa Madrid, he went to Paris and Germany in order to specialize in ophthalmology. So may nakilalang professor si Rizal na si Dr. Louis de Recker. So siya ay isang top French ophthalmologist during that time. So kinausap ni Rizal si Dr. de Recker kung pwede ba siya mag-aral under his supervision at pumayag naman ito. So naging magaling raw na estudyante si Rizal kaya't siya ay kinuha bilang clinical assistant ni Dr. Recker. During his free time ay bumibisita siya sa bahay ng Pardo de Taveras, kina Felix, Trinidad at Paz, kung saan ay nandoon rin si Juan Luna. So may painting si Juan Luna na ang title is The Blood Compact kung saan si Rizal ay naging isa sa maging model nito. At another painting ni Juan Luna na ang title is The Death of Cleopatra ay naging model rin si Rizal dito. So siya ay nagbihis bilang Egyptian. Moving on, February 1, 1886, so Rizal left Paris for Germany. So after niyang naging clinical assistant kay Dr. Wecker, he gained a lot of information and he practiced his specialization, and now it's time for him to go in Germany.
Hi, good day. My name is Gertrude Blasel Palad, and I am the next reporter for this topic. So, on February 3, 1886, Rizal arrived at Heidelberg. This is where he goes in Germany. This is in Germany. This is the next stop after Paris. And he attended every lecture of Dr. Otto Becker and Mr. Professor William Kuna. This is the picture of the two professors if he had attended classes. Next is he worked with Mr. Dr. Otto Becker, a German ophthalmologist in his clinic in University of Eye Hospital in Heidelberg, Germany. So, as he goes to every different kind of country, he always met a professor or like a doctor with a certain study like ophthalmologist. Next is he lived with a Protestant doctor, Pastor Dr. Karl Ulmer with his family and a good friend of his. He visited theater. Look at this. This is the picture. Romantic Neckar River. This is the river. And also the old churches. He likes to go on churches. And University of Heidelberg and Heidelberg Castle and many more. This is the some pictures or like places he've been in Heidelberg, Germany. On April 22, 1886, Rizal wrote A Las Flores de Heidelberg, or which we called to the flower or to the dear flower of Heidelberg. This poem talks about the love for his country. However, the last stanza of his poem, Rizal realized of being useless because he is serving another country rather than his own. So diba, he realized that he's serving another country than his own. But that is the plan or the mission he has been tasked to. Wala siyang magagawa. Kailangan niyang ipaglaban ang kanyang bansa. Next is April to June 1886 at Wilhelmsfield. Rizal wrote the final chapters of the novel that he started writing in 1884 while he was in Madrid, the Noli. So this is the place where he lived in while writing Noli Me Tangere. This is also in Germany, Heidelberg's pa rin, but on a village side. This is in Germany where Rizal stayed while writing. So on July 31, 1886, Rizal started his correspondence with Professor Ferdinand Blumentritt. So Rizal heard that Blumentritt was interested in the Philippine languages. he sent a letter, and along with it is a book entitled Arithmetica. He is the only one who translated Noli to German language, and the one who wrote the preface of Elfili. He was the one against its publication as he believed that it would lead to Rizal's death. So Blumentritt believed that if he published, although it has already been published now, that it would lead Rizal's death. That I don't know why he thinks that, but he is a good friend talaga of Rizal. Closest confidant of Rizal. Next is Rizal, on August 14, 1886, Rizal arrived at Leipzig. This is the place of Leipzig. And he stayed for there in August to mid-October. He attended some lectures at the University of Leipzig on history and psychology. He always studied talaga, no? Every time he goes to different places, he study and explore also. He befriended with Professor Friedrich Ratzel, a famous historian, and Dr. Han Mayer, a German anthropology professor. So on October 29, 1886, Rizal left Leipzig for Dresden. So this is the place in Dresden. It's so nice, right? And he met Dr. Adolf B. Mayer, director of Anthropological and Ethnological Museum. This is a place. It's a museum. A lot of ancient artifacts in there. So next, on November 1, 1886, Rizal left Dresden for Berlin. As can you see, Berlin is really nice place, and this is the capital city of Germany. Germany pa rin to, ha. Look at that city, it's so nice. Next is he met. This is the greatest scientist he met in Berlin. First is Dr. Fyodor Jagor, a greatest scientist and the author of the Travel in the Philippines. So he is Rizal's favorite author. So no, imagine you met your favorite author in the world, and that would be a great pleasure for you. Next is Dr. Rudolf Virchow, a famous German anthropologist and a father of modern pathology. Next is Dr. Wilhelm Joes, German geographer, and Dr. Karl Ernest Squeger, a German ophthalmologist. He always met a ophthalmologist every country, as I've said. This is Mr. Squeger. And he became an assistant in the clinic of Dr. Squeger, and he also attended some lectures in the University of Berlin. And this is a place where he studied private lesson also in French under Madame Lucie Serdole. And as you all don't know, fun fact, Rizal is hasa at marami siyang language na nalalaman, and those are 22 language in total. No, Rizal is really a genius. And those natatitled sa kanya is really nagagampanan niya yung pagiging genius. This is the reason why Rizal stayed in Berlin. First is to gain further knowledge in ophthalmology. That is a common reason, diba? We all know that because of his mother. Next is to improve further his studies of science and languages. He always wanted to study and study and study more, and we all don't know that, diba? Rizal is been secretly go to Europe, and his mother and father did not agree to go in Europe because his mother think that Rizal already know everything. But according to Rizal, marami pa siyang hindi nalalaman. And also, tama naman yung sinabi niya, marami pa siyang malalaman sa pag-explore niya dito sa Europe. So next, number 3 is to observe the economic and political condition of German nation. Yes, about politics. To associate with famous German scientists and scholars. And also to publish his novel, Noli Me Tangere. No? So what is Noli Me Tangere all about? Let us have a short recap of what is Noli Me Tangere. Noli Me Tangere was published in Berlin in 1887. The bleak of winter of 1886 in Berlin was Rizal's darkest winter because no money arrived from Calamba and he was flat broke. The diamond ring which his sister Saturnina gave him was in the pawn shop. It was a memorable in life of Rizal for two reasons. First, it was a painful episode for he was hungry, sick, and despondent in a strange city. So on winter, doon siya nagkakalagnat, hungry, wala siyang pera kasi hindi niya mapapublish yung book niya. And the next reason is it brought him great joy after enduring so much suffering from that winter because of his first novel, Noli Me Tangere, came off the press in March 1887. So, diba, Rizal really strived those challenges and published his novel. So, furthermore, the inspiration for Rizal's Noli Me Tangere was Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. It is inspired Dr. Jose Rizal to prepare a novel that would depict the miseries of his people under the lash of Spanish tyrants. So this book is all about the story talks about racial discrimination, prejudice, and slavery, wherein white American sell black American to the market. That is, Rizal realized that this book or this story of this book is related to his country, which is the Philippines, wherein the Spaniards they treat Filipinos like a slave, and also they discriminate them. So this inspired Rizal to wrote the book Noli Me Tangere, right? That is so inspirable of him. So the first person who believes and gave the fund to Rizal to publish the book is Maximo Viola. Rizal's friend from Bulacan arrived in Berlin at the height of Rizal's despondency and loaned him the needed funds to publish the novel and savior of Noli. Look at this. Maximo Viola is the savior of Noli. And Rizal was really thankful of him. So, on February 21, 1887, Rizal was finally finished. So, hindi pa to publish, but finished writing. So, na-finalize na ni Rizal. And ready to publish na this is on February 21 na ready, finally finished na. And this is the place where he printed. This is the store, Berliner Buchdruckerei Action Gesellschaft, a printing shop which charged the lowest rate, that is 300 pesos for 2,000 copies of novel. Rizal is really that dedicated to publish this novel of his, no? And Rizal on March 21, 1887, Rizal was Noli was finally published, right? Rizal was really good at hindi siya sumuko sa lahat ng pagsubok niya. No? And this is the first person or the first copy or first person to send copies sa Pilipinas. First is Dr. Antonio Maria Regidor. This is the persons he give or na mga unang binigyan niya ng kopya. Next is Graciano Lopez Haina, Mariano Ponce, and Felix Hidalgo. And familiar diba mga name nila sa Philippines, right? So on the next is May 11, 1887, Rizal with Viola left Berlin on a tour of Europe. Rizal started his tour here with Viola, of course. They naglibot sila sa Europe after he published that. So he rode a train. Look at this. He rode the train. This is a train from Germany. So next, May 13, 1887, Rizal arrived at Limeritz, then Bohemia, and met Blumentritt for the first time. Right? Na-meet niya na talaga yung ka-confidence niya sa True Letter. Hindi pa sila nag-meet. This is the first time they met. This is the place of Limeritz. And they met at the bus station, syempre. So, Blumentritt accompanied them to Krebs Hotel number 12. Grabe, and it's so detailed talaga kung saan siya nag-stay, no? Memories in Litmeritz. Enjoy the warm hospitality of Blumentritt family. They went to a beer garden in Bohemia, and they attend a meeting of tourist club of Litmeritz where Blumentritt was the secretary. He also met Dr. Carlos C. Palak, a Polish scholar, and he was introduced to Professor Robert Klutschaks, and a well-known scholar. And last night in Litmeritz, they proposed a dinner to Blumentritt's family at their hotel. Next, on May 16, 1887, Rizal left Litmeritz, Czech Republic na yun ha. This is the Czech Republic. Yung kanina is Germany, and yung Litmeritz, yung tour na sila is nag-Czech Republic na siya. And they had stopover in Prague, where he met Dr. Wilcom, professor of natural history and University of Prague. Look at this place. If I would like to travel, no, magta-travel talaga ako. It's really nice to travel. And this is the place where he've been, or like pinuntahan niya. So this is the Tomb Copernicus Bacteriological Laboratories, Museum of Natural History, and Cave of San Juan Nepomuceno. So grabe, Rizal has really been to arts talaga din. Marami talaga siyang aspects of his geniusity. New word. Next is, after Prague, they also had a stopover in Brunn, a small village in Czech Republic. Look at this. It's so cute, like a barn, color red houses. On May 20, 1887, Rizal and Viola arrive at Vienna, and they arrive in the country of Austria. A Queen of Danube. Look at this. It's so nice. If I were to, like, I am Viola, I would really appreciate the views talaga, no, with Rizal. And they stayed at the Metropole Hotel. This is the hotel they stayed. They had been accompanied by two good Austrian scholar, Mr. Massner and Mrs. Nordman, who is a friend of Blumentritt. And this is the places they visited in Vienna. Churches, art galleries, public parks, theater, and museum. Look at these places talaga. I like these churches. It's so mataas. And art galleries. Rizal is really into museum and galleries talaga, and also theaters. On May 24, 1887, they left Vienna on boat via Danube for Linz. So dito dumaan si Rizal syempre sa boat. This is a Danube. Daanan like a road na natawag dito? Daanan ng ilog ba tawag na dyan? Like that. This is where they go. So they after they got to Danube for Linz, on May 25 they arrive at Salzburg, Austria. Right. Dito sila bumaba ng bangka at on land na sila pumunta ng Munich. 'Di ba? Dito sila nag-arrive. 'Di ba? After nila sa Danube, stop sila, and on land na sila papunta ng Munich. They arrived and stayed in Munich, Germany. This is the place on May 26, 1887. This is the place, Munich. This is on Germany. Look at the sign. From Germany sa taas, then Czech Republic, pababa Austria, and then sa last portion ng Germany, sila dumaan papuntang Switzerland. In Munich, they stopped for a while to taste the famous Munich beer, assumed as the best in Germany. So they resided in Rhine Hotel for 5 days. This is the place where they've been. So they also visited the Cathedral Ulm City, the largest and tallest church in the world. Look at this picture, it's so tall. And if you're in there talaga, na feel na ko mas taas talaga, you much starstruck kung sa tao pa. And they visited Rainfall, which is the most beautiful waterfall in Germany. And next one is on May 30, 1887, they left for Stuttgart. So on May 31, 1887, Rizal arrived at Stuttgart. This is a place. Look at this place. Here you can see it's so nice. And it's on Germany pa rin siya. Pababa na siya ng border ng tawag nito, ng Switzerland. They boarded at the Hotel Mergart. They also crossed the border of Switzerland. Ito na. So they continued their tour to Switzerland. Basel, Switzerland. Look at this. It's so nice. Bern, Switzerland. Look at the structure of Bern. It's like a maze. And next is on Lausanne, Switzerland. It's on like China Changa vibe. Like, ganun. On May 13, 1887, they arrived in Geneva, Switzerland. So, look at this. This is a nice place in Germany. I mean, Switzerland pala. It's so citable talaga siya. Parang so cozy na vibe, you know. And they crossed the Fagel-Liman Lake to Geneva, one of the most beautiful city in the world. Oh, in the world, beautiful city. And hindi na siya naglalay. And you can see mismo sa picture that it's so beautiful. They spent 2 weeks in the city, and it was here he celebrated his 26th birthday. Rizal and Viola went for a meal to celebrate the occasion, and Geneva turned out to be Rizal's last stop in Switzerland. Oh, they really bond for a span of just a month siguro, or like month, I'm not month pala. Oh, month siguro, month or 2 months of spending each other. They really bond well. And on June 23, 1887, Rizal parted ways with Viola and is going to Rome, and Viola to Barcelona. So this is na part na nag-parted ways na sila. Hindi na sila magsasama kasi different locations sila nang pupuntahan. He gave Viola a galley of proof of knowledge and wrote a letter to Viola and wrote, "To my dear friend Viola, to the first to read and appreciate my work, your dear friend Rizal." It's so wholesome, you know. It's nice to meet someone who believes you, right? So on June 27, 1887, Rizal arrived in Rome, Italy. He called it the Eternal City. You know, it's so nice to be back. Actually, hindi pa nga siya makabak. Ayan, dito na sa Rome, Italy na siya nag-next stop. Siyempre, solo na siya. Siya na lang isa kasi wala na si Viola. Umalis na pupuntang Barcelona. And he spent his first day exploring the area. And this is the place where he explored. The Capitoline. Capital siya ng a place kung sa Davao pa sa City Hall. Ganun. Tarpeian Rock, Palatine Hill, Roman Forum, Colosseum, Capitoline Museum, the Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore. This is a place as we've been. It's so like ancient na, not ancient. It's like a way back Roman Empire na vibe pa, no? And on Colosseum, fun fact na ginagawa dito noon ng mga empire like mga Roman na ginagawang entertainment at papatayan ng mga tao. No? Parang sa Filipino pa sa sabong. But this is a human na siya nag-aaway sa gitna. Next, he also visited the Vatican City, City of Popes. You know, this is the smallest city in the world, as you all don't know. Next, he wrote in his diary, and that day, and he told his best friend, Blumentritt, that he says, "I am tired as a dog, but I will sleep like a god." That is so deep talaga na meaning, no? If you analyze it. So, on July 2, 1887, Rizal was in Marseille, France. This is a place of nicest. Marami siyang boat, no? Look at that. I like that. And it's so good makita si Rizal na nagta-travel every part ng Europa. And he searches the bodegas of Mensaharias Maritimas for the box of merchandise. Where siya nagkuha ng mga pasalubong, no? And Rizal was in the Bureau of Post of Marseille at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he received 2 letters from Blumentritt and Manuel Hidalgo. So dito na siya papunta or papaalis na siya at sa stop ng kanyang tour. Pupunta na siya pauwi ng Philippines. On July 3, 1887, Rizal left Marseille for Manila. This is the ending of his first European sojourn. So ito na ang katapusan ng kanyang to travel sa Europa. And he boarded the steamer Dijmna, which was the same steamer he boarded 5 years ago. The steamer was en route to Orient via Suez Canal. Rizal saw this canal for the second time. So 5 years talaga siya nag-spend his entire life in Europe. No? I really admire Rizal for his dedication. Now, on July 30, he transferred to another steamer in Saigon to steamer Haipong, which was bound for Manila. In August 2, the steamer left Saigon for Manila and to Calamba na siya, which is the place na nakatira siya. And while studying this topic, I've realized that Rizal, while studying, going to the secret mission, he's been nagsa-study siya, and also he enjoy the places na saan siya napunta. And para lang siyang life as a student, no? Just go with the flow. If it's hard, the challenges, the struggles we've been, just enjoy, at least enjoy the flow, enjoy everything. If you have failing grades or like bagsak sa sa exam, don't be down. Just be positive, no? Because one day, just reach your dreams. Hindi mo na mamalayan, nandun ka na pala. And the reason of Rizal's grand tour in Europe was to complete his secret mission, which was to determine what has these countries were like, so that he could return with a vast of understanding how they differ. So that's all for my report, and I hope you learned something from us. Thank you!
This presentation explores the lesser-known aspects of Jose Rizal's student years in Europe. It sheds light on the motivations behind his journey and the secrecy surrounding his departure. Rizal's time in Europe was not just about education. It was a transformative period that shaped his identity as a nationalist and a reformer. Magandang umaga, hapon, gabi. Ako si Kent Mariel Mandin at ngayon tatalakayin natin ang kapanapanabik na yugto ng buhay ni Jose Rizal bilang estudyante sa Europa. We'll explore his motivations for leaving the Philippines, the secrecy of his departure, and how this transformative period influenced his nationalist and reformist idea. So, motives for going to Europe. We delve into the interpretations of Rizal's motives, including pursuit of better education, the secret patriotic mission to liberate his people, and insights into Rizal's character and vision for his homeland. Let's begin by discussing Rizal's motives for going to Europe. May iba't ibang interpretasyon na mula sa kanyang hangarin magkaroon ng mas magandang edukasyon hanggang sa isang lihim na makabayang misyon na palayain ang kanyang mga kababayan mula sa pananakop ng mga Kastila. Each perspective offers valuable insights into the complexities of Rizal's character and his vision for the future of the Philippines. Next is Rizal's departure, where his departure was fraught with concerns, particularly regarding his family's reaction, especially his mother, who was already distressed from his previous departure to Manila. Not just that, there were also fear of repercussion from Spanish authorities and friars who might view his departure as a threat. That's why Rizal's brother, Pasiano, played a crucial role in concealing his true whereabouts sa pamamagitan ng pag-enroll sa kanya sa Universidad ng Santo Tomas at paglihim sa plano mula sa kanilang mga magulang. The historian Guerrero highlights the historical context of distrust towards natives with ambition for independence, underscoring the necessity of secrecy. So, the secrecy surrounding Rizal's departure to Europe was driven by several factors. We all know that una, ang mga alalahanin sa reaksyon ng kanyang pamilya, lalo na ang pagdadalamhati sa kanyang ina. Bukod dito, batid din ni Rizal ang posibleng negatibong reaksyon ng mga otoridad ng Kastila or the backlash from Spanish authorities because of his given nationalist sentiments and desire for reform. That's why this secrecy was essential to avoid immediate repercussions and to ensure the success of his mission. And lastly, patriotic mission to prepare for liberating his oppressed people. Bagaman ang pangunahing dahilan ni Rizal sa pagpunta sa Europa ay upang mapalawak ang kanyang edukasyon, ngunit mayroon ring mga ebidensya nagsasaad ng mas malalim na makabayang layunin or evidence that suggests a deeper, more patriotic vision. It says that Rizal sought to study European societies and government to equip himself with the knowledge necessary for the eventual liberation of his oppressed countrymen from the colonial rule. This mission underlined much of his activities and studies during his time in Europe. Next would be during his travel, which will be explained by the next reporter. Thank you.
Great day! By the way, I am Darwin Argelben and I will be discussing about the post-university life. So the purpose of the travel, after receiving his license sheets, Rizal continued his sojourn and went to France and Germany. It was to specialize in ophthalmology. Zaidi noted his choice of specialization was in view of curing his mother's failing eyesight in Paris. Sa kagustuhan ni Dr. Jose Rizal na ang kanyang ina ay maipagamot, ito ay pumunta ng ibang bansa upang pag-aralan ang tungkol dito. He apprenticed under renewed ophthalmologists such as previous 30 days Dr. Louis de Wickert in Paris and Dr. Otto Becker in Heidelberg, Germany. He also attended lectures on various subjects including history and psychology at Frischeswijk importance universities in Leipzig and Berlin. Hindi lang pala pumunta si Dr. Jose Rizal sa ibang bansa upang pag-aralan ang sakit ng kanyang ina. Bagkus, ito'y nag-aral ng iba't ibang subject katulad ng history and psychology. Then Rizal became a member of distinguished scientific buffer system differences societies such as Anthropology Society, Ethnological Society, and Geographical Society of Berlin, enhancing his knowledge and professional network. So the next is the social interactions and the creative outputs of Rizal post-university life. So despite his academic commitments, Rizal enjoyed reunions, founder of RTT, and known with friends like Maximo Viola, and engaged in leisure activities such as playing the flute and participating in chess clubs. Then, the creative output, this is inspired by his travels and experiences. Rizal penned literally Juego de Adivinanzas, works like a Las Flores de Heidelberg. During the exertions in Germany, showcasing his poetic talent and culturals and reflections.
Hi everyone, my name is Siti Hayria K. Anwal, and for our social concerns, Rizal remained deeply concerned about social issues, particularly the plight of the Spanish peasants, which he studied during his travels through Spain. Ang kanyang paglalakbay sa Espanya ay naglantad sa kanya sa various injustices and inequalities, shaping his views and inspiring him to advocate for social reform in the Philippines. For our next slide, Rizal wrote significant portions of his novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, during his time in Europe, addressing themes of colonialism and social injustice. Ang mga nobelang ito ay kilala sa kanilang critique of Spanish colonial rule in the Philippines at sa kanilang paggalugad sa mga social injustices during that time. Rizal works played a crucial role in sparking nationalist sentiments and resistance against colonial oppressions in the Philippines. Next is collaboration with Maximo Viola. Rizal's partnership with Maximo Viola resulted in the publication of Noli Me Tangere in Berlin, a seminal moment in Philippine literature and nationalist awakening. Ang pakikipagtulungan ni Rizal kay Maximo Viola ay napakahalaga sa pagsasakatuparan ng Noli Me Tangere. Its publication marked a pivotal moment not only in the Philippine literature but also in igniting nationalist sentiments and sparking conversation about colonialism and oppression. Next is continued advocacy and legacy. Throughout these travels, Rizal remained committed to advocating for social reform and independence for the Philippines, leaving a lasting legacy of activism and intellectual discourse. Jose Rizal's post-university life exemplifies his dedication to education, social justice, and pursuit of knowledge, inspiring future generations of Filipinos to strive for excellence and national liberation.
The propaganda movement aimed to assimilate the Philippines to the Spanish crown, echoing the Cadiz Constitution declaration of Spanish colonies as the motherland. Led by propagandists, they countered colonial administration narratives by highlighting the Philippines' plight through publication, like La Solidaridad. Their campaign involved criticizing officials, especially the friars, whom they wanted ousted from the country. However, the movements faced challenges. The Spanish government preoccupation with other colonies, elitist disconnect with commoners, and accusation of self-interest. Among leaders, disunity within the movement, particularly between the expatriates, further led to its demise. Rizal, though neutral, was approached by both sides for support. Ultimately, internal conflicts, the movement for power weakened the movement as illustrated by disagreement over newspaper editorship.
The rivalry between Rizal and Del Pilar within the propaganda movement originated from a seemingly trivial incidents involving champagne expenses, which brought to light deeper tensions over leadership roles. Del Pilar depicted Rizal as sensitive and lacking political acumen while positioning himself as politically savvy but potentially overly ambitious. Rizal's departure left Del Pilar reluctantly assuming leadership, underscoring the complexities of their relationship and challenges of maintaining unity within the movement. This conflict holds significance in understanding the complexities of leadership, dynamics, and collective actions within expatriate communities during that period.
So good day, my name is Christian Mahilom. So in summary, the life of Rizal work stand as a statement to the power of intellect, realisance, and unwavering commitment to justice. His journey west, encompassing his first European sojourn and university travels, laid the foundation of life of activism and advocacy. As a young student in Europe, as Rizal immersed himself in the pursuit of knowledge, not merely of a personal gain, but as a means of uplifting his people, bringing about social change. Through his experience in Madrid, Paris, and Hamburg, he shaped his intellect, broadened his perspective, and forged connections that will shape his future endeavors. But Rizal's journey was not confined to the confines of academia. It was during the time of Europe that he witnessed first-hand injustice suffered by his fellow Filipinos under colonial rule. This experience engaged a fire with him, prevailing him to become advance, refound, and liberation. Upon he returned to the Philippines, Rizal continued to champion the cause of his people, the formation of propaganda movement, as he promoted in the Philippines and to other people around him. And Rizal's life work serves as a beacon of inspiration for generations to come, reminding us the power of one individuals to spark changes, challenges, state of quo. His legacy lives in the heart of mind, those who continues to fight for trust, justice, and freedom. Though his courage, intellect, and unwavering dedication to his people, Rizal became our national hero, the Philippine national hero. Jose Rizal blazed a trail that continues to guide us towards a brighter future. So from the past lessons, we all know that sa Ateneo, di, sa Ateneo siya nag-aaral, and then he flew to Europe to study more about medicine to para mapagaling yung ina niya. So we learned that the dates and also his journey from Europe. So that's all. Thank you for watching and have a great day.